So this started out as a ridiculous attempt to make a string climbing barometer, motor driven. Let me turn it on just by plugging in the power. It has an OLED display, which won't show up really well on the video, but it's basically now morphed into sitting inside of a standard aircraft instrument case, which I machined out of Delrin. The touch switches are a printed circuit board, double-sided. The lettering that you see is on the top silk screen of the printed circuit board, and the black covering is a black solder mask. The whole thing's covered over with a 2¼ inch diameter quartz disc. Sapphire would have been even better electrically. But a little pricey, and glass would work just as well. In any case, here's what you see, and there are 4 touch switches. The mode switch here at the top, which selects first the fact that the thing is off until you do something else. But here in the off mode, you can select the brightness of the LED display by touching the left or right selection buttons, and I hope this shows up on the video. Anyway, it's at its max brightness now. It's a lot brighter in the real world. The next mode is the barometric pressure entry, and here you can go up in increments of 1 inch of barometric pressure. We're probably somewhere around 30 inches. Here we're at 1/10th decimal, and here 100th decimal. In its final configuration, the device again morphed into something that would hold an aircraft at a particular altitude, and here you could hold what barometric pressure or feet above sea level you wanted to stay at based on the previously entered barometric pressure. And here is the rate that you wanted the aircraft to get there. And then, of course, finally, this was a bell or whistle where, you wanted the darn microprocessor to be making you hot coffee because I had some code space left. So we'll skip over that. Brightness. Here's our barometric pressure, the altitude we wanted to stay at, and the rate of climb to get there, and then the holding function where it's actually sniffing for barometric pressure. My house is at about 700 feet above sea level, and I didn't take great pains to set the actual barometric pressure, but you can see at this point that this stepper motor is being driven based on the measured altitude, and it'll rotate around and theoretically would be connected to the aircraft pitch controls to make it hunt for a particular altitude. And it does, to within about a foot. Anyway, just a short demo of what a touch switch can do. You can stuff this thing into a freezer and get it down to 20 below zero, or put it in boiling water, and the touch switches don't really seem to care. The code for this has a line in it that sets the sensitivity of the switches. And I found the touch switches to be very useful, very usable, but there were a lot of parameters that you needed to manipulate to get them to be reliable. As I say, this one does work over a heck of at least thermal and moisture range at this point, but it took some doing, and this thing is constantly recalibrating itself. It's always going, am I being touched? Am I being touched? Am I being touched? And if I'm not, I'm going to store my current touch reading as the untouched condition, and then repeating that. So it was a little tricky, but it seems to be okay.